Hi, this video is for Monday, April 27th for trigonometry. Today I'm going to teach you about finding an angle between two vectors. So first of all, last week we talked about dot product of two vectors. So I'm going to review what a dot product was first. So if you have two vectors, u and v, and let's say that u was a1, comma a2, and v was b1, comma b2, then the dot product of u and v would be a1 times b1 plus a2 times b2. Okay, so hopefully that seems a little familiar now that I've reviewed it. So you take the first components, multiply them, second components, multiply them, and then you add the two results together. That's dot product. Dot product is involved in finding the angle between two vectors. Okay, so the formula for finding the angle between two vectors, let me erase this and I'll show you. So cosine theta, so the angle between two vectors is going to be theta. And so cosine theta equals the dot product of the two vectors over the magnitude of the first vector times the magnitude of the second vector. So let's review real quick how to find magnitude. So magnitude of vector u, we're going to assume that vector u is a1 and a2 again. Okay, so that would look like this. a1 squared plus a2 squared, and then you take the square root of it. That's how you find magnitude of a vector, okay? So, you're going to have to find the magnitude of u and the magnitude of v, and then you multiply them together on the bottom. Alright, so it's going to be a little labor intensive, but we're going to do these examples together, and then your Google form for the day has only 4 questions, and I'm going to give you Monday and Tuesday both to do it. Okay? So if you're a senior, this is going to be your last assignment, and if you're a junior, I'm giving you 2 days to do it, and then we'll start reviewing trigonometry stuff on Wednesday, like the final review. We're obviously not having a final, but final review. Okay, so here we go. Example 1. We're going to find the angle between the vectors u, which is 3, 4, and v, which is 2, 1. Okay, so before we can do that, I'm going to write down the formula real quick just to remind you what it is. So cosine theta equals the dot product over the two magnitudes multiplied together. Okay, so first of all, we're going to find the dot product of u and v. So I typed all this out on your notes, but I'm going to shorten it here when I explain it to you. So dot product of u and v, we're going to have 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 4 times 1, which is 4. So that top part's going to equal 10. Okay. Now we're going to find the magnitude of u. So I'm going to put that here. So 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. And 9 plus 16 is 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. So I'm going to put a 5 up here for that part. Okay, now let's find the magnitude of v. So the magnitude of v, 2 squared is 4, and 1 squared is 1. So we have square root of 5. I can't simplify that part, so we're going to just write that next to this 5. So what this is telling me is that the cosine theta equals 10 over 5 square root 5. So now I'm going to show you how to turn that into a decimal. So I'm going to erase these little magnitudes here. Alright, so you've got your phone there by you, so we're going to get your phone calculator ready. So on your phone calculator, we're going to do 10 divided by 5 times, well, no, let's back up. Let's do this with parentheses, just to be safe. 10 divided by, parentheses, 5 times 5. My calculator is being a jerk. Sometimes that happens. 10 divided by, parentheses, 5 times the square root of 5. Close up the parentheses, equals. Okay, after all my technical difficulties, this is what I got here. 0.8944. And as you can see on your notes, that's what I got when I simplified it. And you might be thinking, well, why do we want this decimal? Do you remember a long time back when I taught you how to do cosine inverse on your calculator? Back when we were together, how to do cosine inverse on your calculator. Well, if you're on your phone, we have to type the decimal in first, and I'm rounding it to 4 digits. You can round it to other things, but for this lesson, we're going to round it to 4 digits. Okay, so 0.8944, and then on your phone here, you have to press second, and then cosine inverse. And we're going to get 26.57. So that means that theta is 26.57 degrees. Okay, so I know that was a lot to take in. So we're going to do 2 more examples so that hopefully you get used to it. And the good thing about this video stuff is if you need to watch it again, you can always watch it again. Or if you need to pause it and try it for yourself, you can do that too. So, here we go. We're going to try example 2. Alright, so example 2, we're trying to find the angle between the vectors 2, 1, and -3, 1. And then I'm going to write the formula here again. The dot product of u and v over the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v. Okay? So dot product of u and v. Let's see here. 2 times -3 is -6, and 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, so that equals -5. Alright, so now the magnitude of u, we have 2 squared is 4, and 1 squared is 1. So that's going to equal the square root of 5. Okay. Now for the magnitude of v, -3 squared is 9. And 1 squared is 1. So this is going to equal square root 10. Now, I don't know if you remember this or not, but when you have 2 radical expressions like square root 5 and square root 10, when you go to multiply them together, you just multiply the parts that are under the square root. So this is going to say square root 50. Okay, and we could get into how you could simplify that and all that jazz, but since we don't really need to simplify it for our purpose, we're just going to use this, and we're going to find our decimal, and then take cosine inverse. Okay, so let's try this. -5 divided by 50 square root equals, and you should get -0.7071. So that's what we're going to use. -0.7071. And then we're going to do cosine inverse on that. And you should get 135. That's a weird 5. Let's try that again. Okay. So the answer there is 135. Alright, so we've got one more problem to do. And then, like I said, you'll have 2 days to do your assignment. So if you need to watch this more than once, that's perfectly fine. Or if you need to email me and ask me questions, that's okay too. Alright, so let's do example 3. We're finding the angle between -3, 2 and 1, -4. Alright, so cosine theta equals dot product of u and v over magnitude of u times magnitude of v. Okay, so -3 times 1 is -3, plus 2 times -4 is -8. So that's going to equal -11. Alright, so now we're going to find the magnitude of u and v. So magnitude of u, -3 squared is 9, and 2 squared is 4, and 9 plus 4 is 13. Sorry for the crazy slanting. Alright, magnitude of v, 1 squared is 1, and -4 squared is 16, so this part equals the square root of 17. Okay, so now, if you remember from last problem, we're going to multiply 13 and 17. So 13 times 17 is 221. Alright, so now on our phone calculator, we're going to do -11 divided by 221 square root equals, and I got -0.7399. Okay, so -0.7399, and now we're going to do cosine inverse on that. So -0.7399 cosine inverse, and we're going to get 137.7 degrees. Okay, so that is how you find an angle between two vectors. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. If you're a senior, this is your last assignment. If you're a junior, I will post some review stuff on Wednesday. But if you're a senior, this is your last assignment, and everything for you is due by Monday, May 4th. I think that's right, May 4th. I don't know, every day's the same nowadays. So anyway, I miss you all a lot, and I hope that you're well. So take care. Bye.